I was older. I should have known better. I shouldn't have done it.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, where we'll be discussing some of the most reprehensible moments broadcast live on TV.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 20. Hancock's fake crying. Good morning, Britain. Those of us who lived through the COVID pandemic are likely familiar with Matt Hancock.
Elsie, you want to play a little clip from William Shakespeare, who's just said his first words? Let's take a listen to this.
He served as the health secretary throughout the period until he resigned in June 2021 after kissing a co-worker in his office. Back when he had the job, he appeared on Good Morning Britain after vaccines had started rolling out. The monumental occasion made him so emotional, he just couldn't help pretending to cry.
You're quite emotional by that.
Well, it's been such a tough year for so many people.
Host Susanna Reid believed he was chuckling, but in his memoir, he said he, quote, completely lost it. Rewatching the clip, it's clear that he either misremembered or is embellishing the story to cover up that he was faking it.
You know, there's so much work gone into this, and I'm really, it makes you proud to be British.
Number 19. Selfie with Boris this morning. Boris Johnson was one of the most controversial prime ministers of the century. He oversaw the finalisation of Brexit alongside the COVID pandemic. One of his many scandalous ideas was to invade the Netherlands to steal their vaccines. Despite this, Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby were overjoyed to interview him. They even ended things by getting a selfie with the man. It gets worse when you realise the pair interviewed his opponent, Jeremy Corbyn, around the same time, but treated him with much less respect.
He wanted a selfie, but he didn't know he had to press the button.
Both Johnson and Corbyn were equally divisive, so viewers couldn't help but feel they were biased towards Johnson. Number 18. Labour MP grabs the mace. Prime Minister's questions. For those unaware, the ceremonial mace is a fancy jewelled mace that represents our monarch's authority. It usually sits, untouched, in the House of Commons, but back when Brexit was still a dominant topic, one MP grabbed it in protest. His name was Lloyd Russell Moyle, and he used to be the Labour MP for Brighton Kemp Town. An absolute ruckus ensued, which got the MP kicked out of Parliament for the remainder of the day.
I'm grateful to a dedicated servant of the House for bringing forward the mace and restoring it to its place. I'm sorry.
He was specifically protesting the repeated delays Theresa May's Brexit deals were experiencing. Despite the outrage from his actions, Russell Moyle is proud of his decision. Number 17. Galloway's controversial comments. Prime Minister's questions. You may remember George Galloway from Celebrity Big Brother Series 4, where he strangely imitated a cat and lapped fake milk out of Rula Lenska's hands. Another famous controversy of his was when he used some excessively explicit language while discussing the adult film industry.
I apologise to the Right Honourable Lady for the language I'm about to use.
Galloway apologised before using it, which makes you question why he ever bothered when he knew how it would land.
If Mr. Desmond was giving from the profits of spunk-loving
The Speaker claimed his points weren't relevant, but Galloway doubled down on his point. He was essentially arguing that politicians were unwilling to criticise wealthy donors, but were judging his fundraising methods. The manner he did so was exceedingly confrontational, which didn't help Parliament see his side. Number 16. No responsibility. Talk TV. The Jeremy Kyle Show used to be all you could watch on daytime TV. It was considered a form of human bear baiting, since Kyle would essentially bring on less fortunate guests, then instigate drama between them for views. Eventually, his exploitative series resulted in the self-inflicted death of a guest, Steve Diamond. The show was finally cancelled, and Kyle later appeared on Talk TV, where he did an absolutely despicable interview.
The day that you found out what had happened, what was that day like?
What, that the show had gone?
Yeah.
I think you're you feel peripheral. You feel like it's not you.
Kyle was completely insincere, showed no compassion, and made no reference to Diamond's plight.
Listen, I've been cancelled.
Yeah.
In this world, it seems now that unless you follow a certain path, you're labelled.
It's an outrageous interview to watch, with him acting like the victim, despite spending years treating people with poor mental health like animals.
Whether it's blame or counsel or whinge or bitch culture that we now live in, and I just think, come on.
Number 15, the KLF at the Brits, Brit Awards 1992.
This is television freedom.
The KLF were an electronic band formed in 1987, who played together for 5 years before going out with a bang at the Brit Awards 1992. Throughout their career, they did a variety of controversial things, like sampling ABBA without permission. ABBA sued, and they burned the vinyls in a field and threw the rest in the North Sea. At the Brits, the band pulled out an automatic rifle, then proceeded to fire wildly into the crowd. Thankfully, it was only full of blanks, but it still caused terror. The band subsequently broke up and destroyed all their records. At least it was less chaotic than their initial idea, which was to kill a sheep live on stage. Number 14, Schofield's List, This Morning.
You've heard the names.
This is one of the problems, Philip, is I've heard all sorts of names being bandied around.
Our next entry involves ex-PM David Cameron, except, surprisingly, he wasn't the despicable one, it was Philip Schofield. In 2012, Cameron was interviewed following the Jimmy Savile abuse scandal. Halfway through, Schofield made a catastrophic decision to hand Cameron a list of supposed Tory predators in Parliament.
I have those names there. Those are the names on a piece of paper. You know the names on that piece of paper. Will you be speaking to those people?
Ofcom received 415 complaints, with the PM immediately telling Schofield that what he was doing could incite a witch hunt. As a result, Schofield and ITV were sued by Alistair McAlpine for the false accusation. Cameron didn't even look at the list, but it was briefly caught on camera, so their names were easily visible to viewers.
Immediately ordered this rapid investigation into
But
the
you see,
inquiry,
the
so we'll
trouble
act
is,
very quickly wherever we need to.
Number 13, Sex Pistols swearing on TV today. The Sex Pistols pioneered punk music in the 1970s, getting themselves into heaps of bother along the way in true punk fashion. One of their earliest scandals happened in '76 when they appeared on Bill Grundy's Today Show. They were a last-minute replacement for Queen, since Freddie Mercury needed emergency dental surgery. Grundy handled things fairly poorly, passively-aggressively mocking them throughout the interview.
You worried, or are you just enjoying yourself?
Enjoying myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were doing.
The band's responses were also far from polite. Grundy tried flirting with Susie Sue, who joined the interview, which prompted insults from Steve Jones.
We'll meet afterwards, shall we?
You dirty son. You dirty old man.
This interview got Grundy suspended for 2 weeks. His show was cancelled 2 months later, and his career was effectively killed by the incident. Number 12, Clueless Caller, LBC News.
Good, yeah, I'm anti-woke.
Excellent. Is it in your Twitter profile?
LBC News provides 24/7 news nationwide, including James O'Brien's weekday morning phone-in sessions. During them, anyone can call in and have a chat about politics. Occasionally, someone calls in who clearly hasn't planned what they're going to say. One example was a hilarious, quote, anti-woke caller in 2022. If you aren't familiar with what being anti-woke means, this person won't help clarify.
Right.
We better send everyone on a course.
For example?
I don't want to quote examples, really.
You kind of have to.
He barely has any coherence to what he's saying, and refuses to elaborate when O'Brien asks him to. In the end, he gets confused about the point he's making, and ends up doing things he's previously called woke.
Because I think most of your listeners know what I'm referring to.
I have not got a clue.
Okay.
So tell us.
If you feel passionately for or against something, it's important to be able to explain why. Otherwise, be ready for embarrassment.
I have been cowed into silence by your lot.
No, mate, you have tied yourself in knots single-handedly.
Number 11, Ricky Iola interview, BBC Breakfast. If you've watched The Pact, you'll be familiar with Welsh actress Ricky Iola. To promote Series 2, she appeared on BBC Breakfast and was faced with a ridiculous question by Victoria Valentine. She asks Iola what she would say to those who call the show a woke version of a Welsh family.
There are some people who will see this and they'll say that this is a woke version of a Welsh family. I can see you rolling your eyes.
Ricky Iola handles the situation spectacularly well, and her following response truly shines a light on the cowardice and bigotry implied by equating minorities simply existing as woke.
Don't use a word you cannot describe because you don't know what you mean. Or maybe you know exactly what you mean and you're afraid to say what you mean.
As the interviewer is seen consistently agreeing with Iola, it's hard to determine what prompted this question, as the wording frames the anti-woke crowd as being a defensible and legitimate position to take.
Let's have a proper conversation. Don't throw words around willy-nilly when you're not afraid to say exactly what you mean. If you don't know, please be quiet because you are incredibly boring.
Why even spotlight a ridiculous claim? Instead, the focus should have been on celebrating showing the many kinds of Welsh families that exist. Katie versus Colleen, loose women.
Do you ever regret saying it or feel you should apologise?
No, I don't regret saying anything that I've said because I'd stand by it.
Following her stint on The Apprentice, Katie Hopkins unfortunately became famous, gaining a massive platform and no shortage of followers. She's made her name being as objectionable as possible, and that behaviour didn't stop when she started attacking Linda Nolan during Nolan's stint on Celebrity Big Brother.
When my sister was in Big Brother, you constantly, every day, day in, day out, went on about I wish she'd put her ugly fat arm away.
She was then brought onto Loose Women to answer Colleen Nolan's questions about why Hopkins said the things she did.
No, I'm going to answer. I am going to answer if we let me answer, of course. And the thing I would say is, you know, there are hard things that are said. I wasn't the biggest fan of your sister.
She continued to be rude, refusing to apologise for her claims that Linda Nolan had poor personal hygiene. She then offended everybody else on the panel, including stalwart panellist Janet Street Porter. No wonder she was never invited back.
No, you haven't answered my question. I didn't like the way she behaved in the house. I didn't like the way she
haven't answered my question. Do you
him.
think telling a cancer victim that she's got droopy breasts is constructive, helpful criticism?
Fainting fit. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Years later, and the cat's out of the bag. Alison Hammond, also in the jungle that year, revealed that even at the time she believed Gillian was faking her fall.
What were you thinking?
I was actually laughing inside, if I'm honest with you, but I knew it was live. It was a live trial.
In the notorious clip, McKeith collapsed after being voted by the public to do yet another live trial, which they were doing because she was so awful at them and made such a fuss.
We'll explain exactly what's going on, okay? Let's get Bob in. Bob.
Okay, bring the oxygen in, please.
More despicable than the actual fainting incident was the context around McKeith and all the dodgy things she's done on pre-recorded television, examining people's poo and lying to the country about whether she was a doctor.
Oh, did you know that was a load of nonsense? There's no way she really fainted. She went mad at me saying that, by the way.
Did she?
She'd already been paid by ITV. She should have just quit. Nick Ferrari's airline. This morning. He's often controversial during his LBC broadcasts, but also features as a familiar face on This Morning.
But I'd love to run an airline. I don't know about you. Here are some of the restrictions. No babies or children who cry.
In this broadcast from May 2024, Ferrari was on to discuss a new dog-friendly airline, Bark Air, that had just been launched. He went on to talk about what his dream airline would be like, rattling off his stringent requirements. No flip-flops, no children, and nobody with a peanut allergy.
Right, and if you don't like peanuts, don't get on the plane either, because I do, and I can't eat them because someone's at the back of the plane is going to drop dead or something if I have a peanut. I don't quite know why.
He says that it's his right to eat as many nuts as he wants, regardless of if someone has a severe allergy.
So that's my airline.
Lovely.
Oh, where do I begin to start unpacking this?
Hundreds of Ofcom complaints rolled in for this, and Dermot O'Leary was forced to apologise later on in the week and then do a special segment on serious nut allergies.
Let's move on, thank you, Nicholas.
Meghan Markle, Good Morning Britain. There are dozens of despicable Piers Morgan moments out there, but not all of them happened live on TV.
OK. I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no.
Sorry. Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my own.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
His rants about the Duchess of Sussex, however, did. She was a frequent punching bag for Morgan, as he accused her of smearing the royal family and disrespecting the British public time and time again.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for.
Everybody got bored of it, but Piers kept on going, up until weatherman Alex Beresford told him to give it a rest. Like a child throwing his toys out of the pram, Piers stormed off and announced he was quitting GMB entirely the same week. It was then up to Susanna Reid to lead us all in a little Piers Morgan tribute.
But now Piers has decided to leave the programme. Some of you may cheer and others will boo.
Alex Reid gets dumped. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Now, you knew that your partner Alex was flying out today, and we've all seen the stories in the papers. So can you understand why people might think you'd planned this in advance?
When Katie Price, better known as Jordan at this time, appeared on the 2009 edition of I'm a Celebrity, she was in a highly publicised relationship with MMA fighter Alex Reid, but their relationship was definitely tumultuous, ending for good in 2011, though not before they'd already bounced back from this scandal.
That's another thing. I've done a lot of reflecting. I think it's best that I'm on my own. I just don't want to be in a relationship.
Price, unlike Gillian McKeith, actually did quit when the trials got too much for her. This led to allegations that she'd done it on purpose to stage a lavish proposal with Reid. When this was put to her, though, she announced that they were over, live on TV.
I hope we can remain friends as of I came out.
Okay.
So
no more.
So you and Alex are split now?
I'm not with him, no.
A chill morning. Good morning, Britain.
He's the last day of the campaign, and he's refused to come on our programme so far.
Swaney, shout at him. Say, come on, Good Morning Britain, Prime Minister, if you get the chance. Give him the full barrels.
On the 2019 campaign trail, Boris Johnson was in Yorkshire to talk to some milkmen about the morning's delivery. But throughout the election, Johnson had consistently refused to appear on Good Morning Britain to be grilled by Piers Morgan, despite promising multiple times to do so. GMB sent correspondent Jonathan Swain to talk to Johnson, only for him to be told where to stick it by one of the Prime Minister's bodyguards.
Morning, Prime Minister. Will you come on Good Morning Britain, Prime Minister?
This all happened live on air, including the swearing, and Johnson promptly hid in the big milk fridge to avoid any difficult questions from Piers and Susanna. Considering he was trying to get people to vote for him, this was truly outrageous.
Right, he's been taken inside, into the freezer.
He's gone into the fridge.
There's a bunker.
Swaney, heroic work, mate.
Spin to win this morning.
We'll pay your energy bills, got £1,000 as well. So this is energy bills, I think, for 4 months if it stops on that.
2022 was the year of the high energy bills, one that will go down in infamy. In all its wisdom, ITV decided it was going to help out the great British public by offering money to pay our energy bills as a prize on this morning's Spin to Win game.
How are your energy bills? Are you a bit worried about it all?
Oh, major.
Yeah.
This was nightmarish, emblematic of the state the country has found itself in throughout this decade.
It's your energy bill!
Oh, my God, thank you.
We're paying your energy bill for 4 months.
Oh, fantastic.
Though Alex from Enfield seemed happy enough to win money off his energy bills, we can't help but think he'd probably have preferred a big chunk of cash to spend on what he liked. It was heinous to see ITV doing more to help people than the government was. Concrete. Talk TV. Insulate Britain rub a lot of people up the wrong way with their tactics, but at least their arguments make sense.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right.
Not so for those on the other side, however, as shown when Mike Graham got Insulate Britain spokesperson Cameron Ford on Talk Radio TV. Graham was clearly arguing in bad faith and trying to trip Cameron up, going after him when he said that he was a carpenter and wanting to know whether trees are a sustainable building material.
Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can.
2 years later, and Graham reappeared to deliver a new treatise that scientists have been hard at work trying to grow concrete in labs, meaning that he was right, apparently.
See you, Cameron. Cheerio. That was Cameron. He grows trees and then cuts them down and then makes things from them.
Tetris, Sky News.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten because it just goes on and on.
Jane Secker found herself in a spot of bother in 2024 when she tried to get to grips with the Tetris kill screen. Since Tetris is essentially an infinite game, the only way to beat it is to reach a high enough level that the game completely breaks. A 13-year-old boy, Willis Gibson, became the first human to reach the kill screen, i.e. the first person to ever beat Tetris. Seka wasn't having any of this, though.
As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
Not understanding the weight of Gibson's achievements, Seka mocked him live on air, suggesting that he should stop playing video games and go outside.
Well done, that child. Please go out and get some fresh air.
Eamonn Holmes blames the victims this morning.
Rebecca, look, how many times a day? That's what we're asking.
At least 5.
Public opinion has certainly turned against Eamonn Holmes recently, with people re-examining a lot of his older gaffes in the wake of the news that he and Ruth Langsford have split. In one 2011 moment, he appeared to blame the victim of a sexual assault for her decision not to take a taxi one night, something not everyone can afford.
Have you never thought of making a business of it?
In what aspect?
Charging for it?
He also suggested to one woman, Crystal Warren, that if she enjoys sex so much, she should start charging people, which she obviously took great offence to.
If you're not particularly selective, what I'm saying is, why wouldn't it be a business to you?
Then it becomes a business. And then I become maybe like a robot.
Then there was the time he seemed to tout 5G conspiracy theories, which, according to him, led to his eventual dismissal from ITV entirely.
But what I don't accept is mainstream media immediately slapping that down as not true when they don't know it's not true.
Were there any more despicable moments that we didn't mention? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, because I said it was fake, and she was like, it was not fake, Alison Hammond.
So you said it again?
I'm sure, oh yeah.